Good evening. Welcome to Light It Down the Tunnel. My name is Jeff LaRouche. Today is February 27th, 2020. Today's topic is the challenges we face new into recovery. So, we all have so many different challenges that we're going to face, you know, regardless of what your recovery looks like and how you got there. There's so many different challenges out there. So once you go to rehab and you get clean, or you go to jail and you get clean, or some sort of life experience that you experienced that got you clean. Somehow, some way, some shape, some form. Doesn't really matter. But once you become clean, there's a ton of challenges that we have to face every day, day in and day out. Sometimes by the minute, sometimes by the hour, second, it doesn't really matter. So what I did is I broke down some of these challenges that we actually faced, and the first thing that I came up with was feelings and thoughts. A lot of us that are addicts have a lot of different types of behaviors, like criminal thinking. So when you get clean, you still have that in the back of your mind, those criminal thoughts. But then on the other side of your mind, you want to do the right thing. So one of your feelings and thoughts are, can I do the right thing? Can I make it? Can I be an acceptable and productive member of society? The next thing that I broke down was emotions. When you're getting clean, your emotions are going through the roof. They're up and down, in and out, upside down, whatever it may be. Right? So you have certain emotions that you feel when you're using, and then you have so many different emotions when you actually get clean. Realization has finally smacked you in the face. So when things don't always go our way, we get angry sometimes, because we expect so much when we're clean. You want everything right now, as we speak. You know, I want that house, I want a job, I want a car, I want my family back, I want whatever it may be that you've lost, that you're trying to get back. So sometimes when things don't go our way, a lot of us, including myself, get angry and get upset. And it takes time to process all of this, all of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. How do we overcome these feelings and these thoughts and these emotions to turn them into something positive? So what I do is I actually call it an action. I act upon it. And I try to act upon it in the right way that's in my best interest. Not necessarily best for everybody else, but what's best for me. So one of the things that I say and I do, if it's right, I do it. If it's not right, I don't do it. And being able to allow myself to take the time to process everything that's going on around me, especially when things don't go my way. Am I able to take time to go take a time out? And that can mean like getting on the phone and talking to a sponsor or some loved one or somebody that's actually going to give you some sort of feedback, whether it's positive, negative, and try to help you break down the situation that's at hand. Are we willing to listen? Are we willing to try new things? Are we willing to take criticism from others regards to positive and negative feedback? As long as you're communicating with the right person that best suits you and actually has interest in what you're trying to accomplish. And that's basically your freedom. And your freedom is from drugs and alcohol and whatever else may be. I like to talk to somebody that's lived somewhat of my life, that has gone through some of the things that I've gone through, because it makes it easier for me to communicate with somebody and actually trust them. I have a hard time trusting people sometimes, so for me to open up, I really had to look into the community and see who I could trust. And I can usually read people real well as soon as I start to listen to their thoughts and their words. I also look at posture and facial expressions and where their hands are and what they're doing. And I can actually tell how serious this person is and eagerness and willingness to try to help make my life better. But other people can't make my life better. I have to make my life better. So that's called support. Do you know how to get a support network? Do you know how to reach out? Are you afraid to reach out? It took me 38 years to tell on myself, to realize that I had a problem, that my life was unmanageable. I had no idea what I was doing with myself. I had no idea where I was going. I had all these hopes and dreams, but none of them came true because I wasn't willing to raise my hand and say, hey, I'm fucked up. I got a problem. I need some assistance. I need some help. I need some encouragement. And I would always ask them, what's the next best thing? What can I do? So by the time I'm done having discussions with all these different people and organizations that I went and got help with, I had about 20 things on my list every day. And it seemed to me like it was overwhelming. It was. It was so, I would get angry over, look at all these things on this piece of paper that I have to do, that I need to do. And it's not that these people are trying to get me to do all these certain things and look at myself and to break down every single situation that I needed to work on because they were trying to harm me. They did it because they actually had love for the situation at hand. They actually cared enough to say, listen, you need to go to NA, you need to go to AA, you need to get a sponsor, you need to go check in with DET, you need to go to Evergreen, you need to go to this and that, and you need to continue to tell on yourself and break down all of your problems and also write down every single goal that you have in mind. And I don't mean goals from like 5 years down the road. I'm talking about just for the day. How do I get through the day so I don't go backwards? But when you're in recovery, things aren't necessarily always going to go in your favor. They're just not. It never happens. Life isn't perfect. And I'm far from perfect. God knows I'm far from perfect. So I would take 5 steps and sometimes I would go back 3 steps because things didn't always go the way that I wanted them to. So what that meant is I had to sit there and I had to look at every single situation that went wrong, that I thought went wrong. And then I had to figure out how I can move forward and how I can make less mistakes and figure out how I can overcome the situation at hand. And for instance, you could see somebody on the street that really doesn't like you, and they could sit here and they could talk smack about you and judge you and look at you funny and threaten you in the whole 9 yards. So what do? You just keep it moving, or you could be on the street with somebody that you used to relate to when it comes to your addiction, where you used to get drugs or your alcohol or wherever it may be. And honestly, what I had to do is I had to make an excuse of, for instance, one of my favorite ones is, I'm about 3 minutes late for my appointment. I got no watch on, but these people are so consumed up in their addiction that they're actually not looking at my wrist to see if I have a watch on. And then I would just keep it moving. So achieving goals really is what it really comes down to. And I'm still working on my goals. I've been clean and sober for a while now, 40 months. And I'm still working on goals every day. How to be a better man, how to be a better boyfriend, a better parent, a better person in the community. What can I do to give back? And I still have to write down everything that I want to try to accomplish. One of my biggest problems was fear. The fear of the not knowing, or the fear that I could actually accomplish something. The fear of not being looked at, judged at, criticized. I always had an issue of when it comes to my thinking of what other people thought about me. And that stuff just doesn't work. It's okay to have fear. It's one thing to have like a fear of heights. It's one thing to have a fear of the dark or a fear of a spider, whatever it may be. Those are actually real fears. There are people out there that have a fear of raising their hand and saying, I have an issue. There's real fear of being able to communicate and tell on yourself. But you actually have to break that shell, break that mold. Because honestly, the more that you communicate with people and the more that you tell on yourself about what all your issues are. And it doesn't matter if they're small or if they're big. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that you are able to express yourself and be able to tell on yourself, be able to talk about certain things. It doesn't matter. And it got to the point where I just don't give a shit what other people think about me. Like I said, I talk to those that I know that I don't have to be fearful of. And it makes my everyday life easier. And I'm at that point now where I don't need to communicate with these people every single day. I did that at first. I did that every single day. I checked in every day on a regular basis until I got comfortable. And I was able to put up boundaries and barriers, and I was able to be more successful by saying, no, I'm not going to do that, or not today, or I don't like that, or I'm not going to do that. Because honestly, it just wasn't in my best interest. It wasn't helping me. It was hurting me. Some of these things that some of these people I talked to. But 95% of the time, I did exactly what other people told me to do, and it actually benefited me. It actually worked really, really, really well. And I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I wasn't able to sit there and take negative and positive feedback from others and actually listen instead of speaking and trying to break down every single thing that I thought was right or wrong. I actually shut the fuck up because I don't know shit. And I listen to people that have lived the life that I lived. So with that in mind, you're going to be let down. I'm far from perfect. You're far from perfect. Nobody in this world's perfect. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody's perfect, you know. So when I would let myself down, I would blame myself. You know, I'm not capable. I'm not smart enough. I'm not attractive. I'm not this. I'm not that. Blah, 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 blah. There were so many things I used to do to blame myself. So what I did is somebody brought it to my attention. And it kind of sounds kind of stupid, but really it works. It works for me. Every time I'd go in the bathroom, and people say it's kind of vain, whatever, so be vain. Recovery is a selfish program. Only worry about yourself and what you can do to better yourself each and every day, minute by minute, second by second, hour by hour, day by day. And things will succeed. So what I did is every time I went in the bathroom, I would look at the mirror and I'd be like, you're a beautiful person. And I would make fun of myself, but it would make me smile, and I would keep doing it day in and day out. It didn't matter if I had to use the bathroom 20 times a day. I still looked in that mirror and I said, you're a good dude. You're a beautiful person. You love yourself, and you're willing to achieve all your goals and be successful one day at a time. Regrets. A lot of us have regrets for what we did. You know, I sold drugs. I did a lot of harm to the community by selling drugs. People OD'd off my stuff. I brought tons and tons of drugs to the community. And I blamed myself for a long time. Until I started speaking to all these people and realized that addiction really just destroys everything about me. Everything. So as soon as I started to realize that I'm not that old person, that person will still live with me. It'll still be in the back of my mind of the things that I did. Can I be apologetic and be sorry for the things that I did? Absolutely. I am every day. But I don't dwell on it. I don't sit here and I don't say, well, I coulda, shoulda, woulda, didn't do. It's what I'm doing now. So I have no regrets, right? The past is the past, and we need to move forward. If you can move forward, you're going to move on, and you're going to have a better, more successful life. The next big thing. Can I be independent? I have been dependent on people. Didn't matter what the situation was for 38 years until I finally got arrested. And then when I went to jail, I became more independent. I didn't worry about what everybody else was doing. I didn't worry about playing cards. I didn't worry about the hustle. I worried about me. I worked. I did all my counseling groups on my own. Nobody told me to do it. I just went and did it because the chances of me getting out of jail were slim to none when I first got in. So I really needed to focus on myself. And what really made me think about my situation is my daughter. My daughter said to me, I was probably 2.5 weeks into detoxing. I detoxed sick Everybody knows what that is, the puking, the shitting, all that, hot, cold sweats, all that, for 35 days straight in a cold cell. So about 2.5 weeks, my youngest daughter, I called her, and she says, if you do something wrong again, I'm going to put you in my timeout. At first, I thought that was funny, but I didn't really understand and realize what she was trying to tell me. That's when I took a couple days, and I really just thought about it. Even though I was sick, your emotions are going crazy when you're detoxing. So, and I'm like, man, I hurt that little girl. And then I started blaming myself and the whole nine. And that's part of detox. You're gonna start blaming. Your feelings are up and down. Blah blah blah. But I hurt my little daughter, and I didn't realize it. What it actually meant at first, and that really made me have a change in the way that I think and what I did. And from that point on, I just went and did all the groups I could do. I volunteered myself. I worked as many hours as I could. I just stayed busy. I had a routine. And routine works really, really good. Even today I have a routine. My mama always told me, go to work, go home, and you'll have a better life. And I wish I did that 25 years ago. I wish I listened to my mama, because I wouldn't be, or I shouldn't say I wouldn't be here. I'm here for a reason. But I wouldn't have done what I did. I wouldn't have gotten addicted to drugs. Maybe. That's what I think. That's what I believe. For all this time in my life, I never listened to anybody. I never did what anybody suggested. I always had to, do what I thought was best. And sometimes my thinking is wrong. A lot of times my thinking is wrong. But now I'm able to stop and take a quick breath and relax and think. And I'm allowed to. I don't have to make excuses. I'm not fearful of if I tell somebody no. And it's just so much easier. So we all have goals. And, I don't live for tomorrow. I live for today. And really, and my realization is that every day I have a goal. I wake up, what can I do? And it doesn't matter if it's doing the dishes. It's a goal. I want to get the house cleaned up. Doing laundry, calling people in regards to my personal life, or when it comes to my business aspects of my life. I have things that I need to do every single day. And now it's just become a routine to where I can wake up every day. Okay, well, I know the dishes are going to be clean. I know the house is going to be clean. I know that my kids are going to be taken care of. I got food in the fridge. The gas is going to be in the car. The bills are paid. What else can I do? So I always have more things that I can do throughout the day. And I try to get as many things as I can accomplished. You only live once. So the more that I can do to have a successful life and a successful career, that's what we're doing. And I'm doing that on a daily. It ain't just, well, next week I'm going to call this person, or I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. Nope, I do it today. I don't think twice about it. And if I do start thinking twice and I start questioning myself whether or not I should be doing it, then I have a problem. And when I start thinking like that, then I call somebody. It's so much easier. So, challenges. There are so many different challenges when you first get clean. And the biggest thing that you can do to help yourself is tell yourself repeatedly that you can do it and that you're capable of doing anything in this world, because we all are. As addicts, we will do anything at all to get the next high. We are so smart. We know exactly what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and if we don't, we figure it out just like that. So if we take all of these thoughts and processes and emotions and feelings and fears and everything that we have while we're using, and we put them to the good while you're clean, you're unstoppable. I feel like I'm in the best place in my life right now, and things are only getting better. I've accomplished so many things, and it's never going to stop. I need to keep moving forward, and the more that I can do for y'all, and it helps me, the more that I can do for the community, whether it's speaking or doing whatever, it helps me. It makes me a better person, and it makes me really think about where I've come from and where I'm at now and where I don't want to go back to, and the things that I can still do. There's so many doors that are opening up for me. It's unbelievable. And I'm grateful and I'm blessed that I'm able to share my thoughts and feelings with y'all on my YouTube channel. If you need some help, reach out to me. My name's Jeff LaRouche. I'm on Facebook. My number's there. You're more than welcome to reach out to me. I do topics for many people. The reason why I did this video is because I talked to somebody tonight that's having a little bit of a problem learning to live on their own, and it's mind-boggling to them because they're familiarized with living with people, and now you have a space that's your own and it's quiet. Yeah, you might have the outside traffic and you might have some noises, and it is a little scary at first when you get your first place for the first time and you're a recovering addict as he is. It's challenging, and all the thoughts and the feelings and emotions and can I do this, can I do this, can I do this, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. And the person actually reached out to me, and he's got a lot of emotions flying at once, so I gave him my negative and positive thoughts and what I had to do in order to overcome certain things. And when you get your own place, really fill it, get your bed, and it doesn't matter, you don't have to do it all at once. Take your time, but get a TV, get a fan. I use a fan every night because I really don't like silence. I like to hear something when I'm sleeping. The house creaks and this and that and blah 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 blah, and there's just noises, whatever. So I like to have a fan on slow at nighttime, and it eases my mind and helps me go to sleep. So thank you. My name is Jeff LaRouche. Welcome to Light at the End of the Tunnel. Challenges that we face during the first phases of recovery. Y'all have a good night. Thank you very much.